Amazon is causing more problems for conservative science fiction authors. This is a tale as old as time, and it keeps getting worse. And yet, I don't know what to do about it. I really don't. We all have our own outside sources where we're trying to sell things, and this at least has a good kind of happy ending, but it's not going to fix the systemic problems at Amazon, which we still need to talk about here. And Nick Cole is a fantastic author who's been targeted a lot of times, both by the mainstream publishing industry and by of course, Amazon, which we'll get into in just a moment. So please hit the like and subscribe button here as we talk about all things science fiction and fantasy. Really appreciate you being there. I've been fighting this good fight against corporate overreach since day one as a conservative author, and I'm a science fiction writer myself. It's so important, guys, because of like these systems that are set up, these algorithms that are set up. Never know if I'm going to find you again. Never know what's going to happen here. And that's why I want you to get on my newsletter. That's the first thing we can do, because if I can stay in contact with you guys, that's a huge, huge win right there. As a thank you for doing so, I give you 3 free books: a science fiction book, a fantasy book, and a full superhero graphic novel. I write comics as well. And so I am very prolific. I do a lot of good work here, and I think you guys will love what we got going on. Check it out. And we have also set up our own sort of web store as well. I've got all of my novels on here, which I'll drop ship out immediately. It's pretty good. And we've also got t-shirts. We've got comics. I've got them all digitally as well. I don't have my novels for the most part digital. I've got a couple of them on here, but most of them I do have in Kindle Unlimited, just because of the way that you have to. It's one of Amazon's bad things that you pretty much have to be on there in order to get that revenue as an author. But I do have all my comics on here if you want to check them out digitally as well. So check these out. These links are in the description below. Newsletter first, and of course, if you want to support us directly and read my science fiction, really appreciate it. If you have any questions where to start, I have a lot of series and stuff because I'm all over the map. I like being creative, so just let me know. I'm happy to answer questions on that. Now, let's get into Nick Cole's sort of situation here. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the biggest military science fiction writers out there. And he's been on the channel before. We did an interview some years back, and you can go look for that. He's a Christian conservative, fantastic writer. And he has been, like I said, targeted since day one. He came up in mainstream publishing. And what happened was they wanted to remove an anti-abortion bit from one of his books that he was going to come out with. He refused. And he refused on moral grounds. And that was the end of his relationship with traditional publishing. He then launched out on his own, started making his own books, super successful. Started a series with Jason Nonspach called Galaxy's Edge, which took the world by fire. And he's affiliated with Wargate Books here, which does a lot of stuff. That not just these guys, but they also work with a lot of great military science fiction authors and conservative authors of note. So I like to promote these guys quite a bit. Now, that's all the setup right here. Now, on Amazon, of course, like I said, they've been messing with conservative publishers and the like for a long, long time. We've seen this happen with Vox Day and Castalia House. Books have been taken down mysteriously. There's been pre-orders refunded. Nick Cole has dealt with this before. This is actually the 3rd incident on this with Wargate Books and him. And so they've removed his pre-orders on this by accident. They always say, oh, sorry about that. All those orders are gone now, but nothing we can do about it. It's a little bit at this point. It's like, once might be an accident. 2, that could be a coincidence. 3 times, that's enemy action. We know this. And so that's exactly what we have going on right here. And there's a kind of a happy ending to this story as we get into it, but we will go further. So Amazon, like I said, is notorious for their bad business practices. Like I said earlier when I was, of course, talking about my own books, you kind of have to put a lot of your stuff in Kindle Unlimited, which means you sign a contract with them that you will not be putting those digital books elsewhere, which is really painful for the author, who then can't sell things on my web store, for example, if they're in Kindle Unlimited. You lose out on revenue if you do so, and so it makes it very, very difficult. And so the other thing they do is on Audible, they make you sign up and have an exclusive deal with them as well for audiobooks, because if you don't, your royalties get halved. So you will lose half your money for every single sale that you get on audiobooks if you do that. It's absolutely crazy how they do this. They really try to keep everybody in that ecosystem, and that it's monopolistic practices. This shouldn't be allowed. Unfortunately, like that's where we are at these days. So this is what they did with the pre-order, and it looks like they actually, had this problem multiple times before. This is one that they had with Sergeant Thor, a book that they came out with before. And if you remember, back in 2023, we covered it as well. It said major tech and corporations are agreement incapable. Today, Amazon and KDP deleted all pre-orders for Wargate books, Sergeant Thor book ones. This has happened before. It's like a pattern. This was the second time it happened to Nick Cole with one of his book series. And so clearly he's being targeted at this juncture. And of course, Blaine Pardo, who writes Blue Dawn, he also writes for Wargate Books. Wonderful author, came from BattleTech Fair and does a bunch of awesome things. He says the exact same happened with pre-orders for Blue Dawn. There are other instances of big tech interfering with conservatives. Another conservative author found that some sort of glitch has boosted his price of his book to $400 a copy. Yes, it was a huge impact on people buying his books. It's hard to get people to back once they're scared off, is what he said on that level. Now it happened again. So we're 2 years later. It's 2025. And sure enough, he has another book up. And here it is, Strange Company. And he says, every day is gladiator training. Amazon canceled Strange Company 3. They claim it was a mistake. The same thing has happened to me before on other books, plural, I have written. Whatever. You will be able to buy the book today from our Wargate Books website, and it will be up on Amazon shortly, where they could take it out of your library if they wanted to someday. And he's, of course, commenting on some of the recent changes to the Kindle app, where they've just changed things so that, of course, you have to be in their ecosystem. You can't do any uploads. You can't download things off of the Kindle ecosystem anymore. You're stuck there with them, and they view your content as something that is not yours. You are just leasing it from them, even though you bought it yourself. And that's the whole problem with things is I read in physical media only, so I stare at a screen so much with writing all day and with of course doing YouTube videos and the like, that I never read ebooks unless it's like the only potential option to read a book, because I just don't want to look at a screen anymore. But physical media, again, just rules the day, because you can never have problems like this with this. Very awful that he's been targeted for a third time on this. And I am going to put in the description below, the Wargate Books actually posted it to their website, as he said. You can see it right here. And what's great about this from Wargate Books is they've got this ebook up here right now. And they are not, of course, sharing that with Amazon. So same thing with the actual ebooks here, right? I mean, if you want to get my Demon's Eye, for example, I don't share any of that with Amazon, so that I make actually more of the profit. So it's actually better if you can get people to go off of the ecosystem of Amazon. That's the hard part that authors really struggle with, because everybody reads on Amazon. But they did put it up here. Like I said, I'll put this in the description below, along with my other links. That way you guys can, of course, support Nick Cole and support what these guys have been doing here. Strange Company is a great series, and he's a wonderful writer that I definitely do recommend for people. And so, yes, Wargate Books is doing things wonderfully right here with their own sort of setup and their own store, just like we've got with NDM. And this is what he says. So he's had a pretty good opportunity and a good run on this, which is good. And part of the reason is, of course, he got a lot of traction on X and the like because it was banned. People started talking about the book. It promotes the book for free. So he got that on that level. A lot of authors don't have that opportunity, though. You got to remember, just because it worked in this one instance doesn't, we always get the, why aren't you off of Amazon then? And it's like, well, it doesn't work all the time. Only if you're a cause do these things tend to work, right? And so this made this book into a cause, which is a good thing, because it did get eyeballs on the book. And however you get eyeballs on a book, I'm very happy for that. But got to remember that this is all this doesn't happen every single time. And so Amazon still rules the day, and that's just where it's at. It is better and preferable to support books physical off of other websites, but don't, shame people for being on Amazon or anything like that, because you'll kill an author career if you're off of there at this juncture. And that's really why this is so insidious on their part. But this is what he said, and this is the good news that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that is really the happy ending here, is because Zon played some shenanigans with our launch, we decided to offer it as an ebook format on our website exclusively. I submit this assessment of the website for data for FYI. The last 7 days compared to the previous 7 days, gross sales were up 1,100%. That's pretty good. Returning customer rate was down 35%, which means new customers. Like I said, I think that's kind of a Streisand effect of this happening. Total orders were up 1,200%. Conversion rate up 174%, and session visits up 372%. We're very pleased that indie authors can find sales and success outside of the Amazon plantation. Perhaps this is a new way to connect with readers and listeners, and I think that's a good idea. But again, it is very hard just to get people off of other websites. I was banned by Kickstarter, for example, and I put my last graphic novel, which was in a same universe and same series as the prior one that did very, very well. and actually did very, very well moving people over. But because you don't get the natural foot traffic over there, you have an issue with getting some people over. So I moved down from about 650 backers to about 450 backers. So what I found was about 2/3 of the people went over to a new platform. Now, the book before did better than the prior book on Kickstarter. So I know that the series was popular and that it was going to continue on and continue forward. So it is changing of the platform that did cause that problem. This one was a little different because he got a boost because people were talking about the fact that Amazon was banning him at the time of the launch, which actually changes things. So it is a weird system. How do we get it so that people actually just support authors and don't worry about platform? I'd love to hear your comments on that, because like the more we can get this going, the more we can decentralize this stuff from major corporations, the better that everything will be for everybody. And that's something that I really want to help build, and I really want to of course, promote stuff like Wargate Books doing their own website like this, because I think it is a big deal, and I think it is the future. The first steps, my friends, of course, are going to be get on the newsletter, because, again, this is an algorithm-based platform too, and sometimes it shows videos, sometimes it doesn't. You might never find me again. I want you to be here so that I can connect with you. It's very, very important. This is the most important thing you could do. We've also got our own web store, as I've talked about before, so you can check this out, and we are going to, of course, promote Nick Cole's book in the description below as well. Leave a comment and do hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys for being here, and this is the news right now. Shame on Amazon for doing this, and gosh, I'm glad these guys are having a success anyway. It is good. We'll see you soon.